SHRI Ramayana, Aranya Kanda, Book number 3, Sarga 51, Roman numeral LI 51. The combat. Ravan's red eyes in fury rolled, bright with his armlets flashing gold. In high disdain, by passion stirred, he rushed against the sovereign bird. With clash and din and furious blows of murderous battle met the foes. Thus urged by winds to clouds on high, meet warning in the stormy sky. Then fierce the dreadful combat raged, as fiend and bird in war engaged. As if two winged mountains sped to dire encounter overhead. Keen pointed arrows, thin and fast, in never ceasing fury cast, rained hurtling on the vulture king, and smote him on the breast and wing. But still that noblest bird sustained the cloud of shafts which Ravan rained. And with strong beak and talons bent, the body of his foeman rent. Then wild with rage the 10-necked king laid 10 swift arrows on his string. Dread as the staff of death were they, so terrible and keen to slay. Straight to his ear the string he drew, straight to the mark the arrows flew, and pierced by every iron head, the vulture's mangled body bled. One glance upon the car he bent, where Sita wept with shrill lament. Then heedless of his wounds and pain, rushed at the giant king again. Then the brave vulture with the stroke of his resistless talons broke. The giant's shafts and bow whereon the fairest pearls and jewels shone. The monster paused by rage unmanned. A second bow soon armed his hand, whence pointed arrows swift and true, in hundreds, yea, in thousands flew. The monarch of the vultures plied, with ceaseless darts on every side, showed like bird that turns to rest, close covered by the branch-built nest. He shook his pinions to repel the storm of arrows as it fell. Then with his talons snapped in two the mighty bow which Ravan drew. Next, with terrific wing he smote so fiercely on the giant's coat, the harness glittering with the glow of fire gave way beneath the blow. With storm of murderous strokes he beat the harnessed asses strong and fleet, each with a goblin's monstrous face, and plates of gold his neck to grace. Then on the car he turned his ire, the wheel-moved car that shone like fire, and broke the glorious chariot, broke the golden steps and pole and yoke, the chowries and the silken shade, like the full moon to view displayed, together with the guards who held those emblems to the ground he felled. The royal vulture hovered o'er the driver's head and pierced and tore with his strong beak and dreaded claws his mangled brow and cheek and jaws. With broken car and sundered bow his charioteer and team laid low. One arm about the lady wound, sprang the fierce giant to the ground. Spectators of the combat all, the spirits viewed the monster's fall. Lauding the vulture, every one cried with glad voice, "Well done, well done." But weak with length of days at last, the vulture's strength was failing fast. The fiend again essayed to bear the lady through the fields of air. But when the vulture saw him rise, triumphant with his trembling prize, bearing the sword that still was left when other arms were lost or cleft. Once more impatient of repose, swift from the earth her champion rose, hung in the way the fiend would take, and thus addressing Ravan spake. Thou king of giants, rash and blind, will be the ruin of thy kind, stealing the wife of Rama him, with lightning spears on chest and limb. A mighty host obeys his will, and troops of slaves his palace fill. His lords of state are wise and true, kinsmen has he and retinue. As thirsty travelers drain the cup, thou drinkest deadly poison up. The rash and careless fool who heeds no coming fruit of guilty deeds. A few short years of life shall be, and perish doomed to death like thee. Say, whither wilt thou fly to lose thy neck from death's entangling noose? Caught like the fish that finds too late the hook beneath the treacherous bait. Never, O king, of this be sure, will Ragu's fiery sons endure. Terrific in their vengeful rage, this insult to their heritage. The guilty hands this day have done a deed which all reprove and shun. Unworthy of a noble chief, unworthy of a noble chief, the pillage loved by coward thief. Stay, if thy heart allow thee stay, and meet me in the deadly fray. Soon shalt thou stain the earth with gore, as fall and fall as Kara fell before. The fruits of former deeds or power, the sinner in his dying hour. And such a fate on thee, O King, thy tyranny and madness bring. Not an the self-existent Lord, who reigns by all the worlds adored, would dare attempt a guilty deed, which the dire fruits of crime succeed. Thus brave Jataeus, best of birds, addressed the fiend with moving words. Then ready for the swift attack, swooped down upon the giant's back. Down to the bone the talons went, with many a wound the flesh was rent. Such blows infuriate drivers deal their elephants with pointed steel. Fixed in his back the strong beak lay, and talons stripped the flesh away. He fought with claws and beak and wing, and tore the long hair of the king. Still, as the royal vulture beat, the giant with his wings and feet swelled the fiend's lips, his body shook with furious rage too great to brook. About the mighty dame he cast one huge left arm and held her fast. In furious rage to frenzy fanned, he struck the vulture with his hand. Jataeus mocked the vain essay, and rent his 10 left arms away. Down dropped the severed limbs anew, 10 others from his body grew. Thus bright with pearly radiance glide dread serpents from the hillock side. Again in wrath the giant pressed the lady closer to his breast, and foot and fist sent blow on blow in ceaseless fury at the foe. So fierce and dire the battle waged between those mighty champions raged. Here was the lord of giants, there the noblest of the birds of air. Thus, as his love of Rama thought, the faithful vulture strove and fought. But Ravan seized his sword and smote his wings and side and feet and throat. At mangled side and wing he bled. He fell, and life was almost fled. The lady saw her champion lie, his plumes disdained with gory dye, and hastened to the vulture's side, grieving as though a kinsman died. The Lord of Lanka's island viewed, the vulture as he lay, whose back like some dark cloud was hued, his breast a pally grey, like ashes when by none renewed. The flame has died away. The lady saw with mournful eye her champion press the plain, the royal bird, her true ally, whom Ravan's might had slain. Her soft arms locked in strict embrace, around his neck she kept, and lovely, with her moon-bright face, bent o'er her friend and wept. Absolutely beautiful. Sri Ramayana. The greatest love story ever told. When God walked this earth as if an ordinary man. Jai Shri Ram, Hail Ram, Roma Victa, Victory to Rama. Larger than life, Rome and Christ, Rama and Krishna. Ciao.